Mama never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
But I greet ministry mo boy adwuma pa o.
Hey, na papa say una bezo kan idea. Mama ni kan chia no. Papa
mo boy adwuma.
Na me hira onu nyuma pa. Ene ne me bia wo yi bia nyame on hira no mo ho ban. Ni bia me mpai ba me bo ma wa no. Mo ho ban no ma kwatenten. Sir. Na honorable Eriko Poku. Nyame obi hira wo. Na odi suade hunu bia wo e magana. Ene o ma wo nyina no. Me wo gidie say ebebe because of wakoma panti.
Amen. Menimpa say Nyame Admo 6th annual Minister of the Year award, that is 6th monthly award, you know. I would say Papa Honorable Eriko Poku betimi atam Minister of the Year because me shey ma papa nepo and you ma wo here ni no ma wo here na di so kwa di kan wa ho. Honorable Eriko Poku MP Minister of Food and Agriculture. Obetimi afa.
Oh, obetimi afa, but I am of reservations kakra.
Okay.
Ewo nyema bisa.
Nyema bisa ho.
Because aban no no aban ni nyina ene nti
but oye adwuma
na papa
oye adwuma do
the level of energy of Honorable Eriko Poku na baka have no 20 years.
Yeah.
Now the level of intelligence of that man Nante as a lawyer, Minindi Peshia as a politician, as a lawyer, as an educationist. The man is too intelligent. The man is too humble. Na akumana ekutano na dane muno. Eish. Eso. Na me bompa say Ghana fo nyina betimi test sa papa no mo ndi wono mo. Cause Ghana ni so ade hunu e wo papa no mo no.
Eso. Eh na Minister of Agriculture say me te say so for etukwan called China. I'm so fi China no ko US and say.
Oko China. Oko US.
Oko US.
No fi US waba.
Of US waba.
Waba betu.
Na me te na betu. Te ne ho ye.
Ne ho ye eso. I mean who be okuta say ni so ade hunu bi currently.
Apart from Honorable Eriko Poku,
President de Kutani.
Yeah, any su adi hono no. Na ho brase ene ebra wo nyama nipa. Kran so me medwene ho amente ase.
E de so aka jo say na energy no okuta no. Odwene ho na energy, odwe papa energy ho a onte ase. Papa o energy go. O
energy. Na obi a otumi tu kwan. Wo ba obeduru sada na anadwo na ahamnache a. Obeduru adwuma na wosi adwuma mu.
Uti me se de papa no me nim fa no ho no. Untimi nkan nyina mfa trouble but energy and media ma papa no. But ade ba ko pɛ me ho no. Ewi ase so ti wi ase na oni nipa wadwembone na wakoma pa o de ya de na wadwempa. Na me wo kwa ofa so hira ni sai hye ne bi ne kuta sa papa no.
Yeah.
Enti papa ne yankuntia no.
Yankuntia no.
Yankuntia na enye because the energies, the negative energy, the
coupled with the leadership skills he possesses.
The positive energy, any leadership skills, a fighter, the positive energy, and dispel any negative energy. And you want to grab you out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm Shirano. Yeah. And then you won't come my year, baby.
That's right.
But Edika, you know, Momo ya we be.
Me anaka question am ba bebusa no. Na epacho. Ghana ban. Why you live? Abra ban oba so the live bia ba electronic live bia ba na.
Dabi.
Na Ghana ban obetimi ato, obetimi aye tax. E wo memo ha abra sa tax chrono. Tax for enco parliament and as ofiti propaganda
Dabi e wo mra wo man mo entimi asa
ade bi wo ho a me wo problem ho na mesre a leadership of NDC ye wo parliament ni ba bia
okay
NPP as a political party oma rely on entro kontompo sem na brabasem and mo de ba power.
I see.
Yes odi opa fasani nyina to omampani kofuo timi ba power ebra ye twa ntro akase to omampani a wonya ne baby ko omampani dada jeje ro ne so wo wie sika de ma wo no moja
omampani wo sika dollars bucks or the ekwagu Swiss bank Switzerland yeah
ba omampani a wonya ne baby ko jeje ro ne efri akuna so ne hu se even foreign account
na onibi
Ghana for who said na omampani ko forte so and a Ghana for the wound and no credit and some more kind in near maybe a course. And yet, trouble man, this is Sabaki.
Yeah.
On Penny at Amos by and almost started sell to the Professor Doolittle, Professor Yesay, Professor Yesay, me was no man Penny at Amos is one of the affable presidents Ghana has ever gotten. And no, and on man Penny John Dramani Mama, a fire or the agency. Yeah. On man Penny John Dramani Mama by no. Hey, the same thing. What was a hotel or Dubai? What Dubai? One man Penny John Dramani Mama, Yesay. I'm going to say trono sa magana for beji tu. E bra Ghana for ni ba mo so say ayen trono. Na kufado, na kufado. O man penida da o ti akonya so. Enti e bra mo bri say kai Ghana for hu no kura ni biemu a mo pam mo biemu no. Mo sa de trono ni biemu ba. Ade nti na me kasa. Hwe nanu imi ye wo hai. Ananu ya parliament e kwa asetena. E na fanyo ma ke sori gina ye. Na fanyo ma ke asem o kan na me hwe TV. Me ye mo sheme. That's what kind of say, Mr. Speaker. You know, Ghana how, or kind of brofo. Yeah, I remember country. You know, Ghana ha, and I buy a Ghana buying a day and to show another tax. Abba to Momoso. I 0.75%.
Yeah, 0.75%.
Now, tax, you know. Ghana for a bonus so and the sentinel I was say Speaker of Parliament in the Parliament a year no I was adding to that buying a day tax no
a buying for tax in my
boss hear me I was expecting say leadership will quickly say must not buy the tax by the name of Parliament
my approve yeah
but yeah sorry you know as my typical and say procedure. And you're right. You see, I can say no. And this is for way so. Meanwhile, we're making false allegation on the government.
On the government, yeah.
And the Abra, you better respond to the false allegation. Not all can proceed yourself. And you'll be only more sabi papa require ni be another gun and ni be on timbrasi. I understand some more can hear the correct. Peso be yanuntino and I can proceed yourself. Your mom can say your mom penny or boduma pa. Yeah. Now MPP for fa pound do ni na so person mo chichire atro e de to so. Ebra ye nua honorable ayarega sorry ya. Na ohun se procedure no a ye nua fanyo mark fa so enye. Ana o attack procedure no. Na o repeat asem na okay. Because officially na Ghana for him. But me no me you get to say me want for sending me message.
Me message maybe.
I say yellow valued customer from 1st June 2026 transfer from your Momo wallet to bank account will attract a fee of 0.75 per transaction. Capped at 5 cedis. This will help us continue to serve you better. Thank you for choosing Momo. Momo Ghana Maida.
Tabi.
It is your Momo. Senkai bi anase wa sembia uko parliamenta enye se na obesi aka no se e bia kwan a MTN for fa so e de sade we ba no e se hwe kan wa
but it should be even channel because it is BOJ that mechanism regulate yeah and if you have any concerns you channel it to BOJ
what I say but anam so mo pen pro bi atwanti no mo ko fa sa kwan so Papa, and next video na afenyo marking e de ba abontin na oye MPP for cutting short and no dey pity social media no so.
And the NDC so ye den on this issue.
And until am tia make am
I see.
And the person Ghana for nyina te say NDC abanya omampani John Dramani Mahama abebiu e di animu no emfa tax bia eye momo tax bia nya dey e ma Ghana.
So ke parliament ma ye nyina ye hu bi.
Exactly, but offer kwati kwan bi so se odi bekwa ko to Ghana ban no so ama ye so no ye ni ama ye so ko ye trinke about procedure. And we asem no ni nya no pa no ama abonten concerning asem ni nya no. Yeah. Na mo procedure no kwa ne ba ya no de de kati asem. Ye ma Ghana fo nyina tia se o mampene John Dramani Mahama emfa etuo bia nya de e ma Ghana.
Ayentro
na baba sem e yakohwesem and the nua afenyo market edi o parliament no say Ghana ban and the diaba no yemfa Ghana ban fa etro bia eye momoto bia nyeden e ma 0.75% eye MTN na diaba me sebi sa to no me MTN me use pa momo me use me ni ho eti me ma start show me petition against that etro no say na be you betimi atweto na sign no mo ye mu ansa na on be so ye bi because you can't unilaterally on kwa on timi ntase dabe abra ade ne ye dipa nyina na on kasa wo hye emra abra saasa mu wi hu nsensem no apie e bi sa de be so Ghana ban say enye ono ne de ba ye na mo ba bi o mo de asem no fa no empenifo form na anya de ensi form na MPP e frase dia tro papa wo de opa ye nhwe enema akoso wo Ghana ha nyina sensa o mampani Dramani Mahama e be fa akonya wo ntra MPP fo di hwe cocoa price abra eteso hwe ba bi no mo na cocoa ase no mo no knowing very well. So when it comes to in terms of dollars, because cocoa is charged in dollars. And that dollar now, and this year, ma cocoa farmers are higher than dollar na MPP for pure and ma cocoa farmer, cocoa farmers. Meanwhile, time and not a board no moto cocoa na was sure a certain NDC for the but the name say about papanti dollar no bona there. Ako from Tiaman Sikana there, abba from Tino. Omo fa kote kwenti ni an chire kwa for sesa. Nemo mo chire kwa force say on mampani Dramani Mahama action musika.
But lawyer Amankwa, it is the responsibility of the NDC communicators or educators who also go and educate the farmers. Meaning says some of the farmers na atiase farmers need me videos upon videos.
More educators no so more communicators no so because almost so no e bra sem we buy no an MPP for nam kokwa asem yes we ni pe do na so fasi o mo so ni na ka ho pi ya me minister ko try TV show ye ncheche e ma sa de na timi awura farmers team e me ne de esi Côte d'Ivoire o mo koko ye ne de no aye kaze ne bo aye din bebre mo koko aye fofofo mo dwane de mo koko ba se se beto e ja ma sa de no so se tro ne na baba so be ka jo se o mampani Dramani Mahama na me can be concerning minister honorable Kopoku say the positive energies na wo ho so the adwombone kura ba ho a na I dispel those adwombone ebi no mampani Dramani Mahama ekuta no
okay
MPP for tra mo fire nyina no nyame fa kwan bi so e ye de expose wo mo ne o mo ntimi nka kokko asem bi ti de bia no o mo de o mo ye ne say ade papa e koso o man bia mo mpe nti o mo pe kwan kote kwan so as I say because na ni page na court se wutie chema untimu sensemo a e wo court a mini so we lawyer na utie ni e pa na chema untimi lawyer pia bonte no ka say ye nua no hia mpa ebo a we lawyer so tie ase say onim de e koso tino so hia mpa ebo that be such a person no wo fi say dey no be here in the history of this country a MPP aban so pa and a finance minister Jane efiri o man mo
ebi see that
and what get to so what deal man dream what get to say what bomb man ka what get to say what bomb man krono because so when you born there what you say me ba menya justice now NDC for no twam ko ye no a aban na twam ko o mampede da Dramani Mahama aban na twam ko ya na Akufo do ba ya odin ko foko gina court no omo de no mo nyanipa omo de na justice system no mo nyomo de na we justice system no ntia wo so ni gidi o e cheto wo bokro e de such a person who is on na busuafo na omo ka omo nyina any won to me mo e de no mba Ghana omo twa tra akopem se e bi obenya tumi na se odi fo ba bia sa fo di na de afiri ho ke be so Ghana fo se Ghana fo mo nyina ni na ho na sumdue a ye nya no ma we mu no sa sumdue we ye nya bi a chew a chepa dollar stability kuta wo ma wo mu no ye bi a chepa so that say any niema e koso aduane aba menne ekuafo nyina mpo e prese e nuane ayefo the minister be kasem bi o say win lose win se si ejina hayi timemfo na ewini na ekuafo aboka aduane bo ye den a timemfo elusu na ekuafo ewini because satan no beto aduane bo so and na minister afa konya so a omo hwe to hedge enema te se bro so ya bi ne niema bi ne mu ayeye e wo kure mu ha no ye hwe kwan bi so de bro ne portrait niema ne sa niema no ya hedge in such a way say e bo na kuafo boka bebre no e betimi enye too much ma kuafo amun so ntimi enso a eno che da na no omampani jodroma ne mama e wo afam plebs ye ko wa ye kwa ko launch the first kind of say farmer center o ka say fertilizer mo de ba o ma we mu o ka say nka ye nton no mid agric ministry in franchise wow I say we have to be benizam so what I say enti eye niema o mampani de agufo ma e tuto yi amagana enti no amagana fo ni na ho na MPP aho pre ene bonidie ni dwiri mo ye enti no omo pentem asaba abanya ne so biemu ye nhwe ni yi ko mo de tro so o study niema mo tro Facebook ene eya who say they are so desperate and frustrated
to come to power.
To come to power because man hwe ya niema e be ba bonte no. So that say nti e be sere Ghana for. Ye me nyina ni la ho. Na yesterday leaders no. MPP for sorry parliament. Na say be bia no mo kasa ye na nyina adwene enkosa de no because ade a afenyo ma ke ye no. Agentra akwachire e de niema bi hyenkofo tirim say e ya ban mom.
And now it 0.75% no.
E beto mo so abenti ahedon aban me wan some tisa nti be sere.
Ati me bo lawyer we no ja mumu ye mbranim for aya na is it me can say propaganda ho.
Kwati kwan
buapayo just to
kwan buapaye nabrabasem ne nada
that is the word I want to
so
yeah
and no ye no mafaso na wamagana ni wonim sade na oka no enya no kore because sanka abind the sade because the government can never abind timi fa etuo bia ma oman mu a ebra enko parliament
no
eni gerebe omule sa bill no anazo mo de sa etuo ho asem ba parliament na nka wo mpreso no nka wo be sori ade akasa meboa
sa
enam se do so sene munti no e bia e betimi ato etia wo but nka wasem apesa o ka wo nka Ghana ko nyina be
betimi aka
but what you sorry gina wa o se atua o mampani dia ba afenyo market eti o mampani ti be de tuo ba Ghana no ko ade ne tumi eti be de tuo ba Ghana
going through parliament
enko parliament ho afenyo market but o ti be kata na ni e be di santro no o parliament o bo na ho so o ba abedi santro no ndi be srem NDC
but you know no BOG directs MTN to suspend Momo to bank account charges.
That is true.
Yeah.
And it's a good.
It's a good direction.
Sani mano etimi ade. Etimi aba. But the fire of far so or the yes ade no kire say.
I can be techiri.
It be techiri. It is anhwe ya. Omunya kwati kwan bia ne nada ne na brabasem bia no a mo de beto aban so. MPP for hallmark. Your signature
all right. Okay. Lawyer, my nyame adom inu anum so West South Africa aba bedu ma.
They say you hit speech kwandi e bedu akwa ye.
Yeah, you bedu no de say no ni asem da pro so and you bedu hu come pa.
Inu no South Africa. Inu the decide some na kisa class ya na me raho. Adenja. Omampani that John Dramani mama. I can't sing. I never knew per se a brand Nelson Mandela prefer who the South African Ghana cruise academy.
Man, no.
Why? See, we are not to Mama South African.
They were the last, eh?
They were the last. For now, for what I know, I mean, I stand to be corrected.
That was 1994 also.
Yes, I stand to be corrected. Maybe knowledge into it.
Okay.
Now, you know, to do for Korea, a sorry chair. I'm to do so much. You want to say, I also.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. Fat and Kosubi. It was the Akosu.
Okay.
It was South Africa. Opposition leader and said be okay. I say authority to e pam tuntum so mfia wo adwuma sen mo tim dia ba South Africa ni pa sen wo tim afa because you are on skilled labor only nsa no adwuma onya hwe wan ko school anye bibia enti nipa na oye hairdresser na oba ye be fa baby hairdresser salon e fa South Africa fo nipa num mo munya adwuma ye no wo pam no atom salon mo de salon na adwuma na ko salon no betima bi ntimi on pejuma
yeah
enti sane mo na ade ya potesem no is MTN omo fi
South Africa.
India na so that sorry na ka MTN for mo pack
right South Africa. Absa. Now South Africa.
What does it? You got mo pack mo nyama nyina nkwa. Ade na ye Africa. Enti pempese me blame
DSTV South Africa.
Yes.
But Nigerians are taking a certain direction. Almost say MTN and DSTV almost closing it down.
Of course, said the more no. Almost so a bit me say on Betuaka, not on retire. But they made channel say Obi from Kuma.
You've been from India.
Being from Munda.
Okay.
And to me and shop kind of Fasua, a better to your name in Aye. Send a Africa. You can't cry in a press Africa, the Kabum. You meet my age. And yes, South Africa for none, yes, I did.
No, Mina.
A nipper bin no more. Sebi, a basset Cronford, I don't want.
Yeah.
Because we are quite real there. The young shop kind of Fasua, there's a little. Okay. I'm African.
Lawyer, you can't free speech, a thing.
Mimia, the cassette free speech. So Ubenya Quenya. Actually, what Jene, it will be home. And bra will be in Su Quine.
Okay.
And no any. In Chichimo meeting the amount of trickers.
Okay.
Grabbing Yakunya. Actually, what you know, it will be on 70 Pacrona Yaduno. 70 Yaduno. Ubenya Quenya, no matter who the person is. So your man penny, so your minister, so your wine. Ubet me and Yaquenya, actually, what you know, it will be home. Abra, be behind day in Suquine. And you finish free speech.
Okay.
But so free speech more. There be anywhere just a free speech I attend.
Okay.
Now no na yenu MPP for actually on call for the 10-year done free speech. There was a Ghana for more money. Because some in your catch, who cast some name on your catch, what's some academy, no yaguna, and what?
No.
But I started Sebi, Manus catch a movie, we are there. What do you want them? And no, a Tiaganamra.
A Tiaganamra.
A Tiaganamra, section 207, 208, and deal with offensive conduct now. You can't want some enemy. And the Sanya money me and the NPP for a Cambomoa. Or more use a 10-year offensive creating fear and panic against the cancer, the peace of the state, you know. Among a year, a tear of mine one. So a year, not political friend one. Na or did make up Akudina a kind of saying social media say the free speech and I say la Konya so between a Canadian and a Canadian. Why now what can I drink a cake? Oh, my why I cannot say. I make us in Benjamin. A yana de Bia may come and maybe and any pantias here. In 2023, me Ashanti region, and then after now, I made legal director for NDC in Ashanti region. Okay. In 2023, NDC, a youth organizer for Swami, a friend of Pwampa Razak, Abulia. I don't know our friend Mosquito Michel, and then or deputy Ashanti regional youth organizer. Okay. Me bomb pay say send a branch no wolf and farmer and my NDC no. You better trauma no be adwuma ama NDC was antimantem. A branch yi any NDC for chia or NDC party office we was Swami o. And then komodidi mo chia mo didi nkomo am go ye meeting. So omo didi nkomo no obi gina da achi. And I say the mo power ya mo bay mo pen 2024 who say no they are power they say 3 years ho say be power be adwumaden aba power and also na before amamo kwan and also they say 2020 MPP kum nipa e wo Techiman South nipa e wo dodo wa ya anya ho hwe no nipa nwotwe wu ya ya ntimi anka ho asem no then this for so yere wo na ekoba say nipa MPP fo mienu wu ema ye dinya power sa no so de nka engosi hwe ndi wo so bia yere no
yeah
masa asem we na abrante kan wo mo kwa no go twa bia question any panebusa na odi sa asem na ayeda ano no ko ka say MPP fo mienu wu eme dinya power ya wa na Ghana Police Service ashande reje ya nko fremo ene say kache wasem na waka na brame nchi wo na say ekochi no omo de to ho say we wanted
yeah
enti me wo na me obi Sunday be say oba kaze mosquito zane friend no
yeah
ni nickname no that's like he wanted and so I dey and my friends na wo no say me wo me papa ho lonko kru kaze dokro kanta wo nkwanza ho na me papa ho they say am say wo film akra na me for currency nene na ko hoda and also wo na me say na we are I don't know why I say we wanted no so ni ma de kro and I'm saying me jade we bia na me we fast call police ayo na me say jade we bia na bra and I me call police station wa ko busa say the injury so we wanted me call police station na JJ boy
okay
so pretend to say and say oye regional commander on the crime officer or shall be or say video be about bonten and MPP for draw my attention to it some more active upon it video no way no send the video man video we no way they send go send the pan friend no that one friend of it and what declare wanted na so be who no baby no dey ko boni trim say crowd you wanted police pe watch on na ni me che no what otano no dey aboni trim no odi ade boni trim ko no say me who so you wanted me che no opre no mo ye na je so ne me pre so and o fa dey so dey bob na me je na no abono police ni nyi pana
doc but obi enkasa say ya
ka o ma me yeah
okay we
eti no ade amoye ndem anya ni ma kola ma frɛ no wo ba Jordan kwaso ba me am de be ba onye wanted onye obi a odwane ko ba bia ade kye na branche no obedu anajo na de asa ade kye no ba me ho e office na me ni nyina etu ana mo eko police ye do police station no e te said ya kye the guy highest arm robber ya kye the highest murderer obi ani anya police ni na ba chi no
ono afri ni pem
ne no akọ police station masa be hwade police cars they say the police headquarters of crime store they trap police cam ni so full police station a press for etuo idea chi na me ntia se na me ada munya adwuma nya na and as I did not come once someone was a brandy Asamoya, any Trahabia. Not those at that time, Comodian Cosono. Now, MPP need in a record. You don't know any quantity. And any problem. A young Comodia, Coswa, and young Comodia, Bontin Como. And Chem Kukum. Now, Casa Kukum Como, I did. Said he never Montia. I said Kagana, Daniel Butu. Edi ekuku om komo me na ba ko say you obi dey obi so ye dey yo sada de bi on yo sorry oka ana me boa ekuku om obi betime de di watem obi ofere okura on ne adwuma betime de di watem but ponti me nkan no Ghana for libre subai me na ye dey abrantie ne call so full life police station ye ko tro na no asem ye ntwa no asem me ne mfa no ye ma ne bail am say da Emmanuel, and then two.
Doctor, court. San come away, lawyer.
They call circuit court. One. me more judge ni din because we na djuma ye call ye no police for you na so mo guso mo ye investigation am say investigation asem no so ono na video no na investigation o di na hwe lemom di ntia o de ka asem ni mi o ka on nya na so ko no o hwe no record sai no ground go police station and di asem na person ka police for so mo investigations they are reminding now
just like that.
Yeah, reminded just like that. Because judge and engineer, not so much as said police for the investigation, don't say reminding them. It's 48 hours nature. And no, you can once more Ghana in a more MPP communicators, no, I can once it here. They will never be brave. What was a question? Because we went to
me pese uncle moving, Kawia Madam. Na Senka, Madam say, on I see, so. But lawyer mon coach na yen share me pen komo we di ne 10 you my catch the tea for na ke bibie ensem on maybe nyame adoma anka ochina obebo amesa
ochina on say
anopa me dem say yen nyina akwantu obi da esi edi so
akwantu obi da ni me nua same jamfi ye na se yi wa sentiment
yeah
me asante mantem mu na me free aba enkran na mete dada de na ko asante mantem na sa betran me ye adwuma je nua same jamfi e jana se same jamfi me nua no mo se me nua no die ya hwibum e ma ya ko ye nyina be ba be jamu
wonderful wonderful
yeah upasa o ka say yemfa hit speech no
yemfansi ano because time no so amame na Ivan embeto aso na yempebre because lawyer say ye din komo ko ekire na ye man enipa biti ni bi ase
entimi nya ekira kwa na betimi apeda e de din komo but me besre Ghana say there's a difference between a hate speech and a free speech.
Okay.
Say udi obi atem ene say o ka wadwene no enya de kro mienu.
Okay.
Enti MPP for ne Ghana for nyina hu sa de no ene kwa amafa so a amofa kote kwan amani pa binum ase o ma no di mpanimfo tema omo de free abronye so abronye betra say MPP for mpanimfo ma ko school. Sometimes you see abronye to compare themselves to mpanimfo bi omo kuta medical degrees my medical doctors e pa omo kromfo a na we na me this ni be gina ha ka che say MPP for ya kromfo a wo betimi ni me agiachi
dabi it can be so
ni pa timi ya na say wa bokko no wie sikase ana me boa
sir
anya wo na o che me ka no baby me na bu che me ni me nuanom na yesua yesi abo abo ne ba so abo abo ne ba ne kwala be mu fe but enye no because onyina
obechiware
and so bekawo ebina
all right
esi wo MPP mu no ye baba abeka ho asem
lawyer Evans Amakwa medase onyame nhira wo pa na yebedi nkomo me pon 10 o'clock me nim baby a wo be wo de but
me fia me call for sakobo juba kakra
yebedi nkomo
eni bi so ye ni nkomo
mate
so be sra me a kachi
mate
be sra me
mate lawyer
ni nkomo
mate lawyer
wo wache
anokre
na so ntia po nyame me nyame asan yare
bi bia ka amen lawyer medase yami nhira wo so for lawyer Evans Amakwa or director legal affairs minister of food and agriculture and
director legal affairs MDC Ashanti region so
okay mate yeah Ashanti region yeah director legal affairs Ashanti region NDC Amana Kwaba
yeah monia
bibia da din there
nyame adom
do ba dia se you look good oh
that's it
but we are brandy o na wo pa disua dodo
na disua de obi asua de
ba wo sua de dodo
dabi
sa pa disua ntimi hu am hwe odin za brandy na mo no mo adin no me good tim doso knowledge no ama we are powerful. That's how I see you.
Thank you.
That's how I see you. But in and some go up no so kakra first batch of evacuated Ghanaians from South Africa no nyamiatum onom edru ebabetra na edranisa the fia me confirms or hine Kwame Frimpong's arrest under fraud and money laundering investigation in the Netherlands. The Attorney General backs Supreme court case seeking to end party delegate system. The party that BOG direct MTN to suspend Momo to bank account charges. So I know mommy saying, which one you want us to start with?
Oh, I think a bit me start to say the city now.
Okay.
So first one here, South Africans, Ghana for more South Africa or Mobafi. I think a relief and a good news.
Yeah.
And it also takes governance to a certain level because my culture said the major responsibility of every government anywhere, cater for the welfare of the people in your country, especially the marginalized, especially the baby. We've had instances at play at the world stage. US citizen one was held somewhere in Africa. US as a country, as small soldiers, as through undercover to recover. There has been instances in Korea War. Some American soldiers died in 1950 somewhere. Recently, America did everything possible to ensure the remains of those soldiers of who were somewhere in 1950 were brought back to their family just to give the family closure. That is what countries do. And in recent times, Africa, we've had instances in Middle East, and sometimes the treatment there are Ghanaians in Libya. Treatment very often the government has always been very reluctant in going to the aid of some of these people. Sometimes individuals quite a talk about because in the past we say Canada, Japan finance some of the ladies so for this time round the state realizing this particular danger way enemy now move in pooling resources together to bring these people back to Ghana actually say governance to certain extent has been taken to a different level where the average Ghanaian is being prioritized government. And quite recently I think one Ghanaian also caught up in Ukraine who the foreign minister or go all over to Ukraine to engage through a diplomatic channel just to ensure that these Ghanaians Russia enlisted them to go to the front lines to fight Ukraine capture this discussion went on some of these things currency you might not want to put a certain value on it but a governance centered or anchored on your friends Nipan and Kasa welfare, and for me it's very 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 important. I say abaso and chief of staff and other dignitaries met them at the airport, gave them that welcome. Now actually say Ghana is indeed ready, but their integration to the society is maybe a main interest because Nipan or mobile some were even though a voluntary evacuation and by force Ghana or South Africa be ambra. But why we are willing to come considering the situation because there is no indication that the South African government will do anything to stop this nonsense. It's going to reoccur every year. Yes. So more say the future there is very bleak for them. Decide that we will come home. So how do we integrate them into the society? Because said that can obi or yen adwuma or na waja na waba obi nya prepared na se for no kwanya ebefa so some assistance be or and I think a package was prepared for them. Government we don't know details need a womb, but I hope that particular package will be enough to set some of them up. Your friends are working idle. So be ban over working idle in the next year you find them in another country because obi why not just say to kwan no say when ya ade ade be na setena wo krom ha ya the next time you find some of them in Kuwait, you find some of them in Egypt, then as for them I think that particular initiative, government will have to focus. Now, a gentleman who came back first and was lucky enough for Ibrahim Mahama just gave me a package and some incentive and I was setting up. And I'm not sure that everybody will have such opportunity. But the little ones now, a bit more integrity or some will have to go to even counseling. Then I said for by hand some of these things that we don't even prioritize. And then I said for because the horrific scene and then the torture. And then near my man for farm, I am near my one here, a big job, psychologically. So I think that I am concerned about the economic welfare of these people, how they can be integrated. how economically we set it up. Back to South Africa. I think that South Africa said in a mistake no baby we are through no or they are still stuck in the past, living in the 11th century kind of mindset and on because baby we are through ye ni na man for ababaji ya manya boso. And ordinary citizens no better go say yakobo amanfo apamamo purely barbaric
primitive
so primitive got the understatement. This is absolute nonsense. I need a play, but this thing has been happening, reoccurring, and the South African government has done nothing about it because for the political cause, a war, because the impression is that as a buyer, they create a Jumamo. That is the impression they create. Now, one of citizens Ababaje, but these citizens in South Africa don't grant permission and visas to people to travel into the country. It's the same government, and there is no indication that migrants have taken over jobs in South Africa. No. Nigeria for no Ghana for no Mukono, Ajuma do na averagely no, a triple. And Nigeria for so to be a supermarket. These are not jobs are buying a creative Ghana for Akoteki. So even private sector mechanics, they are working based on the skill set that they have. You understand? So omo motehono no skills and skills they don't even have. Some of them are so lazy to the extent that they are not ready to lift their finger to do anything. And oh yes, you will not be resourceful in any of the enterprises that has been set up. So the people no more being human or prefer hiring foreigners at your stead. I don't realize that also when here. The question says you found the work company mama skill set ben or whatever. There is absolutely nothing, you understand? So I think the South African government will have to sit their asses down and begin to realize we are seeing say you can't even rely on your own people when it comes to say America is where it is today. Because from the beginning, they allowed in the finals from all countries, gave them citizenship. And today, America has become the global star. I will be a person, and the individuals are more involved. Now, Donald Trump was president. He is not even an American.
I mean, yes, Scottish.
Ne papa every Europe.
I think they are Scottish.
Yes, either Germany or his
father say German.
Exactly.
And I'm here Scottish.
Obama by president from Kenya. Uko your friends England recently. There was this Indian guy who became a prime minister. And now Uko UK Parliament and now. Abayiwa now the leader for the conservative, no? She's from Nigeria. You understand? So you must be dumb at this time of the world to think you're pushing everybody away. You look at how you bet me take advantage. So a man for Ukrum, now they have illegal permitter. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure you take them out, not an individual. And for me, it's very sickening because so here the role that African countries play in securing independence for South Africa. Almost Africa country being independence. Now South Africa was still choking under the weight of apartheid. It took, your friend is saying, consensus from among African nations. I built a strong front against this apartheid thing. I'm a man for a fight, and son of South Africa was finally liberated. The ANC, which is the political party leading South Africa, was nurtured outside South Africa. Among foreign normal finance countries like Zambia, countries like Ghana, countries like Nigeria, Sika the finance war just to ensure that we even give some of them opportunity to educate outside South Africa. Because now they were not even given the black opportunity to go to school. You understand? So with this particular history, you must be guided in the way I will treat others. But this thing has been playing out. Men can't say Nigeria niba ukrum or commit a crime. Watch on. Men can't say Ghana niba no permit. Watch on. But you see, there are appropriate ways to go about this, especially having this history at the back of your mind. But you sit and look for this nonsense to play out where people preach hate, and then as if one say they should go back to their country and fix their country. Who told you that South Africa is fixed? Because South Africa is fixed that. And you will not be fighting because I'm for taking Unyuma. And it means that the country itself is not fixed. They are foreigners living in their own country because the whites now are more akaya no. And get a control of South Africa businesses, everything. You understand? Leaving these black people who should rather be working with these people just to ensure say what they deserve, what they get, you know. You are oblivious to this reality. Then you are fighting people coming in, bringing businesses, bringing money into your country to grow. It's totally primitive.
South Africa. Almost this boys and a control BBI of South Africa. I'm telling you, when it comes to businesses, one more the boys that is these Indians, you know, few Chinese.
And the name of more sign implications. Nigeria can fight back. Ghana can fight back. Makato say MTN other businesses and Nigeria
Nigeria started.
Exactly. They can do the same. I mean, they are doing it. I think it's appropriate because you cannot be launching this nonsense of attack on people annually and begin to think, say, oh no, you have exclusive certain way be able to hear this nonsense and get away.
This gold fields or whatever.
Exactly. Recently, Ghana soldier for ball. Your friends are Ghana for two because almost on one invade the site. Right. But that is a South African company. But look at the nonsense that they are subjecting people to in this. So I think apart from this diplomatic arrangement that Ghana we've done to bring our people back home, no, I think the government will have to send a strong message to the South Africans say, Omu monopoly over some of this nonsense. And that's Omu repeating some of these things because I'm not sure that every Ghanaian will come back home. This thing is going to play out next year, the following year, and the following year. As long as they continue to do this, it will get to the neck of Ghanaians. Manfor will start a reprisal attack, which may not be good for all of us, you understand? And this is a near my seeking to avoid. But it will get to a time if this nonsense continues, nobody can control. Because individuals will begin to also do some of these
mobilize and do.
Exactly. Family. Nigeria they have, and you have businesses. So it turned out that Obi a fighting or we are. Do you think it will play out well? But I mean, I don't blame these narrow-minded individuals doing this nonsense. I blame the government. Because the government over the years has sat aloof. They have never punished anybody.
It's politics.
Yes, they are incentivizing and motivating some of these narrow-minded individuals to go about unleashing terror and mayhem on foreigners. When the government is supposed to protect these people, you understand? Make sure you do the necessary arrangement, get the person out. But you as a citizen, you know, now when I'm high, open what you now we share Nigeria in your number. Can you even ask the persons or documents? No.
Immigration for her.
Exactly. So the best you can do is to call migration and say, "Who Nigeria ni bi otia me suspect." That is the best you can do. You cannot confront the person. But these are people who have been allowed beating people and they are recording. You understand? About 2 years ago, Omukobu Nigeria ni bi store gum and I know Musa look at how shameful it is. Exactly. So I'm on a crime there. I'm on in the coba. Crime ne prostitution. That is what they do best. You understand? And I think you must be dumb to think say you can survive with some of these things because always and always there will be a pushback. It's unfortunate that our government over the years, you know, having been very frontal in dealing with some of these things. Because I think the time has come out. That's send a strong warning to them because we rely on AU, rely on ECOWAS or other. These regional bodies, you know, over the years have proven to be very impotent, very inefficient. So you can't rely them to execute anything proper. It must be done through state to state. Your friends a level. Send them a strong message. You do this, we will make sure that we answer your baby at your almost answer. So I think so. Mama back in there. Yeah, making sure that their integration will be good. Now, or and apart from that particular place in Unsono, there are people who are also going through similar challenges in our Middle East. Now, because they are never Ghana and Yafa plains or Middle East. They are Brabon now. To do na kwa modern day slavery. Ukosha demu 1 year na umpie. When we are never horo abo sign and and these are the ordeals young people are going through because if you know the someone who deserve no kwabrania tama corono ne corruption you know what they deserve no it's in the pocket of somebody.
Don't you think Ivan, it is also the responsibility of government to also create jobs, enough jobs for the youth?
Oh yeah.
Say no hono bebrea. Uko Kuwait akwede.
It's very
Bahrain akwede.
It's very essential.
And now catch no be cry say opese odini ko Iran obeka catch no so obeko.
Yes, because America say youth unemployment is very important, and then the fuel some of these things. Because some of the young ladies who go into some of these things, because and the sad aspect is that they don't even pay them well.
No, they don't pay.
There are some taken as low as 2,000 after traveling all the way. Now go ahead new more
I see.
Yes. They pay them as low as 3,000 Ghana cedis. The new more enya de kato na officer adwuma okroma na sabe yetua no 2,000 kra obetu kwan. So I think we need to prioritize youth unemployment. Now you're making sure employment opportunities will also be created for some of these people. But why I don't want to dwell on that point is that even say a numa busen kra na people will still travel.
Of course, yes.
And that does not give anybody the right to abuse anybody. Now say Ghana how you way. America for her. China is the second largest economy in the world. Chinese are over in Ghana. So among for to Ghana has nothing to do with whether there are job opportunities or not job opportunities. Oh yeah, they need to crime, and there are genuine or those who also travel because of unemployment. So I think that in all these things, we must begin to create job opportunities for young people. I bet me a grand more because obi or take Ghana all year Juma said be otiminya 5,000 and 4,000 all year grounded, will not be going to some of these pitiful countries. They will live here, and the little contribution that they can also make to make this country grow. I think they will do. A priority as but Ghana Nico Egypt. Now besides who took Egypt because if it is about economic opportunity, you will not go. There are some countries you don't go for economic opportunities. For instance, last time I catch Roby, the Padula said before my bag is all China said for economic opportunity. No, because that particular place, built for trade and commerce. You cannot go there and say that is why you don't see a lot of people traveling to China to go and live there. They go there to do business. But places like America, you can go and have a better economic life. That is why people go there. Germany and co. So if you don't see these dynamics, now if you say you are just traveling for traveling's sake, some of the countries are not built for your friends are all call for prosperity. Over 10 years, what I say. So I think that we must begin to understand these dynamics. But I commend government for this bold initiative because sadly my way and over the years, you will always be ready to ensure when the people are in low spirit, when the people are down, when the people become impoverished, when people become vulnerable, they will have a government to rely. A government will intercede on their behalf. And then their governance, and I think I commend the president for doing that.
All right. My I don't know if do you believe in this delegate system when it comes to politics? Because there was a case with Supreme Court, and Attorney General back Supreme Court case seeking to end party delegate system.
But before I buy no so my can't other more the issue no the
buy from Pong.
Yes.
Na arrest no.
Who said the last time better I am a catcher say when the FBI come calling and your joke. The FBI and your investigation and their chin ya na ya ba betamo. Then now my catcher so we hwe mu no kwasa anya wa sorry. No. The FBI, when it comes to some of this fraud, your friend is saying money laundering kind of investigation that they launch now, they have a department that is dedicated solely for some of these things. They have time, pressure being your muscle. It doesn't change their methodology, their timelines, everything. When it comes to some of these things. So the very moment they move in on an individual, what it means is that you circulate the extent of your involvement. But the last time I catch it said, what they do is that post 2001, your friend is saying bombing in America, they've been very much concerned about terrorism financing, this jihadist kind of way, and other stuff. So whenever monies are being moved around that, US might want to follow the money and see where the money is going, who and who is involved, whether the money is going into terrorism financing, going to a certain jihadist group, going to this, and I say a human trafficking network. They want to understand the scope of the network. So you might be pulling out dollars. But what is smart? we sika free baby, but you are dumb enough to understand the financial system and we are say the shift financial way it was built by America. Every single dollar that moves through this system is tracked. That is why IMF any other Bretton Woods institution can sit somewhere at the end of the year, they can tell us how much dollars came into Ghana, because the financial system they can track everything. So you must be an idiot to think America now what for Sikano Abagana Aje Aquajiro Bank at the show bottom and nobody will find out. You must be dumb. The mere fact that move on you doesn't mean say we are smart and why. And some of these guys are so damn enough. So when you Sikana, the way they even spend it, throwing about and then as a foreign man are also enough, because FBI, my catch up for say they are not living in America. They are here right here with us. Exactly, because Ghana is full of foreign intelligence services agents all over, and they know everything.
In fact, they are here with us.
So move on you now they have way. So the very moment the gentleman was mentioned, I said to myself, then we are in danger. Because it might not be me that I'm a catcher for say I like his politics. Ever since Obriki into your political scene, the gentleman has done a lot of good things. The constituency has been advocating for young people and is very vocal on social media. In fact, we're bringing certain modernity to politics. I'm a politics. I there. I want the constituency. A lot of development or champion for a man for. But in the past life before politics, me name also with him. Yeah. And maybe that is where this whole thing is. And at the early stages, I just your friend is saying accusation, allegation, alleged against him. Our investigations ongoing until proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. Some of sitting here, I can't pronounce him guilty. But I'm doing this general analysis just to let people know, sir. In recent times, Ghana, Nigeria has been on the radar of the FBI, the offense fraud list. First in Nigeria, Ghana has been added to that particular list, and there are the syndicate running around there, Ghana, Nigeria related. But Nigeria found yes, and so I be sure my Ghana here. Yes, and sir, and I make some of this money move a network, one person cannot move. A syndicate, and there are Ghanaians living in the USA. Involved, and the funny aspect is that some of the guys who are being mentioned are not directly involved in the scam. But you see, last America, some musicians have gotten themselves involved. Some big pastors have gotten themselves involved because they have the clout. Some have foreign accounts and as for nipa no ba approach so me person meji misika bi from way or account my main from mama say and I'm so we greedy intino. You will not even ask questions. Then the person will put the money into your account. Now what share amount. You are implicating yourself because sika $200,000 if I will be accounting no way move $50,000 amount. It means you are part of the whole bit. You understand? So a lot of people have gotten themselves into some of these things. But the US today is being smart because there are a lot of guys in Ghana now they can't even travel because the very moment you travel they will pick you because Abu Trika case now the intricacies involved, the back and forth. Say the next move they will not come here for the MP. He has diplomatic immunity. He has what we call the offense parliamentary shield. And so Abu Trika ordinary person, US for Bass on Befan, you see the trouble. So they will never move in say on Befa MP or Kroma. So on Utua, then over there is no those immunity in and I think that is a strategy that they are adopting. So there are a lot of people who may travel and may not come back if you are involved or you are on the list of these people then because they realize they're going through this whole Herculean process of going through court indictment. There is this a sentiment among young people say I didn't think this kind of dynamics will not let the FBI come here say before be but so now they didn't know said they were traveling into their own prison way. The very moment they landed, none of them found. That is what is going to happen because over there, you will not have the luxury of they call court because why repatriate you when they call. So I think saa nneɛma a we are air cost nyinaa ɛyɛ indictment on us as people because what be say I was say a day na besi wo krom ha sika betimi abeto obi account ma nipa no on ton kobi on ton money on ton cement na sika almost $300,000 abeto na account na state na clear say on konkoyi it means the state itself is culpable. You understand? So you cannot blame anybody because in any responsible country biano when certain amount of money are dropping into your account, you should be able to answer for these things. But you are creating enough room for some of these things to happen. And the USA will not trust the government of the day because we have built the systems and the structures in such a way say now you think that they will engage you?
No.
Even if they will engage you, it will be at a limited level. That is why this MP was perceived to be, at least there should have been some discussion then as a forum. But I think even if there was a discussion, it will be limited. But menya sure say na you ko nim say okwa abontia mo makwa kwache no e bia kwa nkomo notify na say for notice. So I think say as a state realizing this we must begin to do things right. Now you making sure say certain stringent financial measures will be taken just to ensure say some of these things on our own you bet me aye answer yes I lose credibility because a time will come we are Ghana near now we to kwanya the omodi Nigeria for farm no omodi ever the same thing because when you are branded as fraudulent kind of way among for who too you might go in to do genuine business but people will not trust you understand so on this MP case initially now man for you or bow but it has been almost how many ways almost 3 weeks in here
but so continue social media na who say no Kwame say Kwame from Pono na kasa I don't know
I think they are old video yeah because I think they initially he went back to UK. And according to sources, I think so on the area any issues my police case my by social media so watching. Then I think he did a video say that video so I think it is that video that people are playing today. So but this is a different issue altogether. And I think we need to follow. I don't want your friends they are watching coffee hanging Ghana for coma sitting MP or boko don't come me now
for over 10 years before they go
you see because we are smarter you can't just arrest an individual arresting an individual will not stop the flow of whatever illicit trade that the person is doing so you put monitors on that person and then you see on your sikana when the point of contact now when sikana otonwa hen or defa then as you need to understand the network and sana be move in because you are some of these people they don't even talk but unfortunately Ghana for no more and I think that some of them were singing like bird and the amount so sometimes most of the information we here to indict some of these people the witnesses everything quite clear and it's easy to prosecute because there is nobody or modern half and ready and I never say there are a lot of Ghanaians living in the USA who are now in jail because of some of these things about 20 people Ghana for America, they have been prosecuted and all of them have been jailed. Some are on probation, some were given limited sentences and so forth. But because they are not in Ghana, we don't hear some of these things. So it's an ongoing kind of way. The very moment your name is mentioned, it means, sir, we need to do something just to ensure, so for me, I think, I'm quite scared. I like the gentleman, I like the way he does his politics. Me say, the political life in a minimum. Ever since a transition year, but yanso as a minor, the Bia me can say a dufudie nekuyan. Politics na ye kwabrane bi timi ko village baby. Oh, my bubu ma Sunday nyina me sine foforo. Oh, school e ho nyina ma bubu me sine foforo. Kwabrane ntena se nwini hu se hefa na sika no fura o de ba. Ye de anasa ye je. Na my sanla ye kwakoje. That is what we are interested in. Where the monies are coming from, we don't check. You understand? So in recent times, so we hear politics here. Who was kind of from automatically there, you win your seat and go. This money is where they coming from. So these are lessons that we need to learn that going forward, I see a den share ne nneema gu ho a sika efra bonten eba krom ha say no amanfo de buy politics, not just politics but other businesses as well. No, we must begin to vet and know where those monies are coming from, because if you are not careful, somebody may go for drug barons money to come and run campaign here. Colombia. We still remember what is happening in Mexico quite recently, El Chapo, and in the days how they were able to infiltrate the political machinery in Mexico. We used to fund out this drug trade as a form. No, if you are not careful, we may slip into some of these things. So I think that coming back to the state, the measures that we can put in place to ensure that some of these things, you know, a prevent it. Now, Parliament, and so at their level, at the diplomatic level, no, they need to engage us to ensure, say, brands here no innocent. Parliament must fight a cause and get him back. But dealing with the USA and the FBI is a different ball game altogether. I can't just say Blatter no untouchable. No, be a to be Unsanko Canada. But when the FBI went calling, you know, they drag him on the floor, and there's a Blatter. A distance memory in our head. The very moment they move on you and they have credible intel, say indeed you are responsible, there are evidence to back say you are involved or no.
Ambrani yejuma.
No. And to say ha obenya osofo kan wa boka sokwa no partner or bo bi pono ko pacho ahemfo. That is what they do in this particular country. Okay. It's the reason why this nonsense keep playing out. Okay. I'm sure say the due process will happen. If he's innocent, he will come back and continue. But if he's not, then I think we should be preparing for by-election.
All right. So let's do one story here and we go. Attorney General backs Supreme Court case seeking to end party delegate system. We either do that or we do Bank of Ghana, that's BOG, direct MTN to suspend Momo to bank account charges.
Yes, I think the AG issue now court no. I think on several platforms, I say your political system, the weakest link just delegate system. I say some corrupt way be and man for use as an opportunity to solicit and then solicit Kurano the almost extorting money
to from siphon money
exactly possible candidate baby and all the brilliant ideas you have, the ingenuity, everything to lead your political party.
But Ivan, assuming without admitting, say if the court rules crash or the court comes out say okay, there's never going to be any delegates, but send the pounds on a trouble.
Oh no, even this particular court then, I think you see. We can come out with I think Parliament can cure this thing better than your friend is saying than court. But I don't see how court is going to dictate to a political party what they should do when it comes to electing a flag bearer. No, I think we see a political party Parliament has that particular power. Our certain basic guidelines that we need to go through. Okay. But for a court to rule, I doubt. Even though it was Supreme Court today, I doubt how the Supreme Court is going to tell political parties, say, for crime be say so you candidate. I doubt. Because we must have a political system. Designer, structurally viable, template. Within that, a political party can find convenience around it to elect whoever. But for a Supreme Court to tell political party going forward, every register, we are going to tell you how you are going to elect your candidate. I doubt. They may come out with a framework. Restricted. But this particular one is seeking a very restrictive approach to electing political party leadership, which for me, I don't see viable under the current circumstances. And I think that Parliament will prefer, your friend is a viable option rather than with the court system. Say they act by regulating political parties acting as a form. So we have to find a way of making sure a certain framework is raised within that particular your friend act, I be regulating how political party will go about some of these things than say a court going to give a prescription. Say political parties should allow everybody holding the card to be part of that party. It's practically going to be impossible, because in proposing that, then the financing of such a larger election must also be considered by the court.
Exactly.
And we live in a country where political parties are not financed by the state. You understand? So I think it's early days yet, and at this time, the viability of the court option, even though over the years, and I've spoken against the delegate system, like I just said, but in dealing with it, I think the approach must be very meticulous. Now, approach a very long lasting. Maybe a certain legislative framework will come to regulate how we're going to do it, rather than the court prescription and as a for them. And because I don't see how viable the court option is going to be so far as the implementation of this good idea is concerned.
All right, that's good. But sir, MTN, I don't know if say unya message in video. MTN starting from, is it 1st June? MTN from Momo to bank accounts, charges will be. I mean, there's going to be 0.75% charges on it. I know that Namsoma, Fenyo Makin, can say, oh. Sisi they assigned the e-levy, assign Abba, your finance acquiring biso as a Bakofa e-levy, John Dramani Mahama.
Some of these concept politics, and I think they're Ghana for a because I find your mark into parliament in himself. Every single tax imposed by the state will have to go through parliamentary ratification. Nobody can impose a tax. So that was a decision by the financial institution I regulate it. What people don't get MTN is different from the Momo part. So the Momo is running on MTN platform, which is owned by MTN. I think that and a major stakeholder, and there are fintech institutional Ghana for true shareholding, a part of it. So the mobile money component, and MTN there. Like solely the telecom is a different thing, but it is operating on the platform of MTN. What I say? So it is purely under the BOG because it is a financial institution different from the MTN telecos. And you cannot be putting your fans up Bank of Ghana because Bank of Ghana is a regulator. So that is why Bank of Ghana issued a statement that you cannot unilaterally sit there and say that I am imposing taxes. And I think they have even started charging people. Because I do a lot of transfer from bank to mobile, and very often I see some of these charges. So indirectly, some of these companies are robbing us. Because you can start trying. So who's sending money from your wallet to bank account to, you will see, say, transfer 10,000. You will see certain charges that will be imposed on. It's not zero. You understand? So I think Bank of Ghana is appropriate quickly to resolve some of these things, because we cannot allow some of these individuals and foreigners, our company making profits, to be operating at the brand side of now the Bank of Ghana as a regulator quickly. I think to my and the finance minister, I saw a statement and I said for them, so per se what the etuoba and I say financial challenge be about you think say yes be found one a proposal and a watcher. Then you engage the various stakeholders and you regulator to have a discussion. Then you agreed at a point because and some of these things, and yet the normal tax system. But I think that quickly enough, the government intervening in this particular regard is also good. I like the swift response. Go about dealing with some of these things, because you see over the years, we experience this sort of lackadaisical attitude on the part of government, where nearby you expect a binary to move in. Everybody sits and fold. But now, you see a certain reaction from government, and for me, I think that is positive. For instance, South Africa issue by a back and forth. Government has moved in. Ghana near China or Ukraine, quickly government has moved in, and then I'm attempting to introduce this particular way. Quickly, government has moved in. That is a sign of good governance. I think we need to commend the government. They're making sure the paramount interest of the average and the ordinary Ghanaian will continue to remain the uttermost priority of government and not the interest of a certain parochial interest of a certain few individuals who benefit at the end of the day, because abayan amamuna ekoso no Ghana for untina ekoso